Here. All right. All right. Excellent. Welcome everybody to this Camps with Friends partner spotlight, which is what I'm kind of calling it. I'm Jason, founder and managing partner of Camps with Friends. And today I'm talking to Jed Wilson, who's the founder and executive director of Candlewood Fishing Camp up in Connecticut, right?
Yep, Western Connecticut.
Up in Connecticut, Western Connecticut. So what we're going to be doing today is just talking through a few things, talking to Jed about what he's doing up there. It's pretty exciting. I wish I had access to this kind of camp when I was younger, and so it's pretty cool. So yeah, why don't you, Jed, give us a brief sort of introduction to who you are and what you do.
Yep. So I am the founder of Candlewood Fishing Camp. We founded it in 2019, and 2021 we became a 501c3 nonprofit. So I'm now the executive director, and our board is heavily involved now, and we now raise money to help kids, to help fund kids who can't afford to go to camp.
Great. And what inspired you to kind of start this and do this and spend your days fishing with kids?
Yeah, so always loved fishing from a young age. My dad took me since I was 4, so I grew up fishing. So when it was time for me to go to camp, I lived in New Jersey, and I went to all the camp shows with my mom. And I was like, I want to go to a fishing camp. I want to go to a fishing camp, and there were none. There was one in Minnesota. She said, I'm not sending you there. So I was like, all right, just somewhere that has a nice lake, and I'll be able to fish. So summer camp was just such a positive experience for me. I had the best time ever. I made amazing friends. The river, the Delaware River fishing trips were just incredible. And, after that, I kind of always wanted to eventually own my own camp that focused on fishing. And then, once my mid-40s hit, I kind of got that itch. I better get moving here. And we did it in 2019.
That's really that is really cool. It's and so what is your sort of philosophy or mission behind Candlewood Fishing Camp that sort of shapes the experience of the campers?
Yep. So we want to offer an unforgettable fishing camp experience, summer camp experience for kids, regardless of their financial backgrounds, regardless of their ethnicities, and regardless of their mental health conditions. Because I was a teacher for 15 years, and you see every kind of kid, and everyone learns different, and everyone experiences things different. And really, since COVID, the anxiety levels are really kind of through the roof. And I know that summer camp is one of the best places for kids to just kind of build their self-esteem back. Being outside, meeting friends, meeting kids who love to do the same thing that they do. And that's what's so cool about this camp is everyone that comes here loves fishing. So there really is an instant connection. So, and we see that, our groups are small, 30 kids a week. So it's very, you don't get lost in the crowds of hundreds of kids. So it's a very special camp.
And I have heard a lot of people say before that the outdoors is the best antidepressant around.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to be, I can imagine when you're out there on water, you've got some cool friends with you, you're the sun is shining, you're catching fish. Like, what is there to be gloomy about, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I think, once you get the kids in the outdoors, obviously they come, with some anxiety. A lot of kids have never been, away from home before. And we get that a lot. A lot of parents call and say, well, they don't really want to leave the house, but they love to fish. So this is the only camp they said they'd be willing to try. And 99.9% of the time, the parents are so thankful. And the kids, now kids that, came to camp that first year who were kind of just hidden away because they were, learning from home with COVID and everything. Now they're fishing with their friends that they met at camp. They're having sleepovers. They're driving 2 hours to see each other. It's really great. We see a lot of that.
That is pretty cool. Getting down to sort of the more of the sort of day-to-day camp stuff. How often do the kids, how long do they, how long is camp? And then, how often do they go fishing?
So we offer 6 sessions. Each session is 6 days, 5 nights, Sunday to Saturday. So the kids arrive, in the evening on Sunday. We get everybody out to the island where we are. The first 3 weeks are on Candlewood Lake, which is a little more off the grid. We're in big tents, on cots. There's no electricity out there, so it's kind of really cool. And then our Lake Champlain 3 weeks, that's a little more bougie, as I like to say, where they, cabins and showers and all of that. But, the kids they take 2 guided fishing trips a day, 5 hours in the morning, and then we do 3 more in the evening. So that's a lot of fishing. Our guides, and I may be skipping questions here, but, our guides come from all over the country. Some of them are, professional anglers. One of them, Chad Mrazek, he just won one of the top year-end tournaments for Major League Fishing, won Rookie of the Year. A lot of our kids, most of our guides are college collegiate anglers that get full rides to their schools. So they're fishing with people who love fishing more than anything and want to make a career out of it. So, that's not easy to find.
That's
especially when it comes to camps.
Yeah, it's really great. It's really great. It sounds like a fun time. Do they? I think I saw on your website as well that they go out on speedboats and stuff, right? They're not just
So bass boats. Don't let the parents think speedboats, even though they are very fast. But we have a lot of rules. Safety is number one, especially when you're out on the water. So all the kids have to wear vests that when the boat is moving. Kids that are 13 and up can take them off when they're fishing. Kids who are 12 and under have to keep them on when they're fishing. So we have a lot of we have a life vest sponsor who gives our parents a deal on vests that are comfortable, because when you're wearing them all day, that you have to be able to move your arms around. I kind of got lost track there. Geez, what was the question again?
No, we were just sort of touching on are the kids fishing off of a pier, or are they going out on boats? Like,
yes, thank you. So all of our guides have really top of the line bass boats, anywhere from 19 footers to 22 footers. With all the up-to-date electronics. So, not only they're learning how to fish, but they're learning how to use the electronics, down scan, side scan, active target, live scope. Like, there's so many things that these anglers have now to really help them become more efficient anglers. So it's not like, hey, we're just going on the dock or some kind of rowboat. Like, this is really like fishing professional tournament style. With these guys.
It's like a kid's dream, right?
Like a kid's dream.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was 13, my dad took me on a guided fishing trip on Lake Tarpon in Florida, and it literally changed everything. Like, I was blown away by just what they taught me. I was catching bass on lures I've never used before, so the confidence was through the roof. And that's what we see, because now all of our kids are on Instagram and Facebook, and we see them after camp posting all the pictures of their fish, and they still stay in touch with all of our guides, so they can still get that feedback and that help even when camp is over.
Yeah. And then how do you sort of incorporate the whole ethical fishing practice, environmental responsibility? How do you sort of introduce that?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is catch and release. We want to instill that our kids know how important it is to release bass unharmed if possible, because bass fishing is extremely popular sport. There's more people than ever doing it, and if people were keeping these fish, they'd wipe out our fisheries in probably a year. So it's really important that they learn how to not only land a fish without hurting it, but also handling the fish. Even taking pictures and how they hold it can hurt a fish. Releasing the fish, a way to kind of like keep him in the water till he swims away on his own. We don't well fish for a long time. We may put a couple fish in the well, the first hour, take some pictures and let them go right away. Where, in tournaments, fish stay in wells up to 8 hours.
Wait, let me stop you there. I have no idea what well fishing is,
Yeah,
or
sorry. So a live well on a boat. It has running water in the boat. You can put
okay.
them in the live well,
Ah,
and it just really helps keep everything, obviously alive and healthy. And in the summer the water's warm, so those bass won't last as long in live wells. So we really want to take our pictures, let them go right away. Also, just fishing creates a lot of garbage. Just all of the packaging and all of the line, and like the boats at the end of these trips are a mess. So we teach the kids, hey, let's keep our boats nice. Help the guides keep it clean up after yourself, make sure the line doesn't get in the water, ends up in a bird's beak or wrapped up in his wings, and all of that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And boating safety is a huge part, because that's, things can go wrong real quick.
is there are there a lot of fishing summer camps around the country, or are you pretty unique, or what sort of sets you kind of apart from some of the rest?
There's really not. When it comes, I like to say like hardcore fishing. A lot of camps offer fishing,
Yeah.
but it's usually from a dock, or the camp that I went to, I was basically the only one who really knew how to fish at all. Like, the counselor would take me down to the lake and I would show him how to fish. So, fishing is available in probably most camps, but not on bass boats with guides. I do know that, and I'll definitely give a shout out, Kurt Dove, Bass Pro Camp. He does something down in Texas. He does a week up in New York. He's probably the closest thing to what we do.
Yep.
A little different. They stay in hotels. We stay outside in cabins and tents. So I would say, what's really unique about us is it's a real summer camp feel, but yet they're getting like super high end fishing education, fishing on these boats with these guides. So it's everything that I wanted to do and go to as I was a kid, or when I was a kid, and I created that model.
Yeah. And so for parents considering Candlewood Fishing Camp, maybe they're watching this video on YouTube afterwards, or on Instagram, or whatever the case is, what would you really like to make sure that they know, and even if they're down in Texas, but they have a fishing mad kid, is it possible for them to come up to camp? Like, what would that look like for them? Or, what's the kind of situation there?
Yeah. So we see kids come from all over the world now.
Oh, wow.
I mean, kids on the West Coast, the Great Lakes region, a lot of kids from the South now. We had kids from South America come. We had a kid from Japan come. We had more kids, from Germany that were coming, but COVID canceled that. So because it is so rare to have, find a camp at this level, kids will travel very far to do that. So luckily for us, the both locations in Plattsburgh, New York, and in New Fairfield, Connecticut, we have airports that are within a half hour away. So what we see a lot of is, parents will fly in, and they'll either visit somebody in the New York area, or they'll make, like a short vacation out of it. They'll just stay in the area, work from a hotel until camp is over, and then they fly home. Some kids are older. We'll drive them to the airport. We'll pick them up from the airport if needed. What's also great about our camp is it is only 6 days, 5 nights. So the apprehensive parents that aren't ready to see their kids disappear for 3-4 weeks at a time, like a classic summer camp, this is great, because the kid's going to do exactly what they love to do. There's no risk of going to a camp where there's a million things to do and they only get to do the one thing they like for an hour a day, which I experienced when my daughter went to camp. So we get amazing feedback. Any of your listeners are welcome to reach out to us. I can put them in touch with any of our parents for a recommendation. We do that a lot too, to put people's minds at ease. And also, we are a no tech camp, so kids are not allowed to use their phones, but parents can always check in with me anytime. Hey, how's everything going? We'll send them pictures. We take a million pictures. We put that out on a link in our Dropbox at the end. Sorry, it's right here.
That's all good.
So
yeah,
no, parents love it. It's great. We really are just a really tight knit family. We get to know each other really well. At the end of the day, after our second trip, it's getting dark. We always have a fire. We all sit around the fire, and that's when we really, really get to know each other. We talk about the good things that are going on in your life. We talk about the tough things that are going on in your life, and this is where so many kids realize, like, holy cow, I'm not the only one who's struggling in school with a bully. I'm not the only one who lost a parent. I'm not the only one who has an uncle or a dad or a mom who's dealing with substance abuse. It all comes out, and everyone gets really, really tight and supportive. And it's really just kind of gives me chills even thinking about it.
Yeah, that's really great. So, just to sort of start wrapping things up here, is this for boys only?
Nope, we are co-ed. Fishing it seems like a heavily male sport, but there are a lot of girls who love to fish, and we are certainly looking for them. We probably get 8 to 10 girls a summer, out of 200 kids. So I'm trying to find a way to, really market to the girls, and it's not so easy. We do have a lot of parents that have daughters that ask that question, like, will they be the only girl? And we always make sure that they're not, because we do have girls now that have been with us for 3-4 years, and now they're becoming counselors. So there's always going to be a female counselor around. But we need more girl fishermen out there, for sure.
Yeah, that's really great. Well, Jed, from my point of view, I love it, what you guys are doing up there. I wish that there was stuff like this closer to me down here in Texas. But who knows? Maybe this is the start of a thing, and fishing camps start popping up all over the country. Because I do believe that we need more reasons to get kids out of their playrooms or bedrooms, or whatever the case is, on their computers and media rooms and computer rooms and stuff like that. Get them off their phones, get them outside. Like I said, there is no better antidepressant than the outdoors.
There's no doubt. And obviously we'd love for them to come to our camp, but if it's not our camp, send them somewhere to camp. It is literally the best thing you can do for a kid, hands down.
And there's a lot of
that story.
There's a lot of camps that do like financial assistance, right?
Oh, not as many as you think.
Oh, really?
There are some out there, but not many.
Okay. Maybe that's something that someone can start doing a little bit more. But Jed, hang around after I stop the recording here. Thank you for everyone who has watched this on on the video channels or on social media channels. Check us out at campswithfriends.com. Parents can search for all sorts of different summer camps and activities on through our database. We also have photo sharing coming up soon, and we're going to love it if Jed takes part of makes use of our photo sharing platform. But where can people find you, Jed?
Candlewoodfishingcamp.org and Candlewood Fishing Camp on Facebook and Instagram.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording. You hang out, and we can chat a little bit further afterwards. But thank you, everyone, and we'll
All right, thanks,
see
Jason.
you online.